Hi friends, it's Valerie. Welcome back to another week's What's for Dinner. If you're new here, welcome. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. And if you're coming back another week again, then welcome back. And I appreciate you coming back to watch my videos. I've got 3 What's for Dinner videos for you again this week. And one of them is going to be outside just grilling a little bit, hanging out. Nothing crazy. So I hope you all have a great week and let's get started. This first recipe is cream cheese chicken taquitos. I'm starting off by making my chicken because I didn't have any already made. So I've just taken 2 chicken breasts and I've placed them in my crock pot with some salt and pepper. And I'm just going to put those on low for 7 hours because this is the time that I did these early in the morning. But you're welcome to go ahead and just use already made chicken or even cook them on high for 3 to 4 hours. And then you're just going to want to shred that up. And normally I would use my little hand mixer. But this time, I let the chicken cool down for too long. I got occupied and it became too hard to just fall apart. So now I'm just going to grate some cheese for the taquitos. And you're going to need some Colby Jack cheese. It's about 1.5 cups worth. I don't have any Colby Jack, so I am actually using a mixture of cheddar cheese and some Jack cheese. I'm just splitting up the amounts, about 3/4 cup each to equal my 1.5 cups of cheese. And I forgot to mention that the amount of chicken you will need shredded is about 2.5 to 3 cups of chicken. And then you're going to go ahead and add in 6 ounces of cream cheese that has been softened. And this really is key. If it's softer, it's going to be easier to mix into your chicken. As you can see, I didn't take the time to pull mine out quick enough. So it's softened, but it's not as soft as it could be to make it easier on me. You could also heat in the microwave for just a few seconds at a time until it starts to soften, just watching to make sure it doesn't fully melt. And now I'm just adding in 1/3 cup of sour cream and 1/2 cup of salsa. I'm just using this chunky brand from Aldi. And then you're just going to go ahead and mix that all together to evenly incorporate all those things together. And then you're going to add in your shredded cheese that you had grated, which is about 1.5 cups, into that chicken mixture. And I also added in some green onions that I had chopped up, just the green parts. I already had them chopped up, so I'm just adding those into this. It seemed like an additional good flavor. So and then just go ahead and mix that all together, and that's the completed insides of your taquito mixture. Next, I am taking 12 corn tortillas and I'm going to heat them in the microwave. So I'm just placing them on this plate and spreading them out so they can all get a little warmed up. And I'm just doing maybe 15 to 30 seconds max. Actually, I would say just 15. Just start off there, feel them. You just want them warm but not too hot, just so that they don't break when you're filling them with your contents and rolling them up. So here I'm just spooning some of that into the middle, and I put a lot. I don't want a thin taquito. I want these nice and thick, and let me tell you, they were delicious that way. So yep, just going to add a bunch of that filling to the middle of each. And I was actually left with a lot more filling, so I made a couple of these extra the next day. It definitely filled maybe about 16 worth with this much filling in them. So yeah, you just place that in the middle and roll your tortilla. And here I've just heated my oil into a frying pan, and I'd say maybe 1/4 inch worth into the bottom of this frying pan. It actually was too hot, and these darkened up very quickly. It didn't matter in the end, they tasted just fine. It typically isn't my preference for anything to get that dark for my liking. I know that my boyfriend actually really enjoys that, so these I was saving for him. But I ended up with 1 or 2 of them, and they were actually really good still. But I did go ahead and lower my heat to try to get some of those lighter ones in the end, and also the ends of the meat and cheese burn. You ever like had cheese just from a quesadilla in a pan and like it just becomes like crunchy, crispy, hard cheese? Well, that's basically because the filling is so much cheese. It's browning really quickly on the edges, but let me tell you, these were so good. So it may not look the prettiest, but they're definitely delicious. And now I just wanted some simple guacamole for this to dip them into. So I'm just taking 2 large avocados into my bowl and mashing those up. I'm also just going to add a little bit of red onion as well as some salt and pepper, and I believe a little bit of lime juice. I didn't have fresh limes, so I just squeezed a little from a bottle, and you're just going to go ahead and add in the amounts you like. I stir it up and taste however salty, however limey. Just go ahead and add that in and mix it up to your liking. These taquitos were a huge hit with us. We absolutely love them. I'm gonna try these also in flour tortillas another time. The filling in these is so delicious. I heated up some leftover Spanish rice to serve on the side with these, and I will go ahead and leave that recipe somewhere here, either in the description box or as a card in this video, so watch out for that, for how to make that rice. This next recipe is fish fillet sandwiches and air fried potato wedges. I'm going to start off by making a tartar sauce for this recipe. It's not exact. I was out of dill. I actually thought I had some dill fresh, but I didn't. So this I'm just going to be using 3/4 cup of mayonnaise right here. And you can do this in any quantities. You're just doing it to taste. So to that I'm adding in some sweet relish. And then I'm also adding in some of this dill pickle, and you're just gonna go ahead and dice it up into some fine bits so that you don't have too chunky of pieces in this. And then I'm also going to be adding in, I believe, some lemon juice, and I didn't have fresh lemons, so I'm just gonna add in some of this bottled one and some pinches of salt and pepper, and I believe that's all I put in this. For the potato wedges, I've washed about a pound to a pound and a half's worth of these yellow potatoes, and I had some larger ones, so I'm using those mostly for this, but I did have one smaller to medium sized one there. So I'm also cutting off any parts that just don't look so great on the potato, and you're just going to cut those in half lengthwise, and then I just cut them kind of into strips. Next, I'm just going to be drizzling some olive oil on top of these, as well as some seasonings that I like. So some pink Himalayan salt, some black pepper, I believe some ranch powder, onion powder, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. No specific measurements. I'm just sprinkling that on there to my desired liking. And then you're just going to go ahead and take some tongs or something and give it a good stir to get all those seasonings spread out across all those potatoes. And then I'm just gonna put those in my air fryer basket and lay them into an even layer. I'm going to be air frying them at the same time with the fish fillets, so I'm just going to be using some of these Gorton's crispy battered fish fillet, and I'm just going to place those out onto the other tray that I have for my air fryer, and just putting the amount that we would like. So I went ahead and put these in my air fryer, and I'm starting with those fish fillets on the top rack first and the potatoes on the bottom at 400 degrees for 22 minutes. And halfway through I pull them out, and I'm gonna flip those fish sticks and give the potatoes a stir as well. And I don't believe I got that on camera though. And then you're gonna go ahead and put them back in the air fryer, and I'm switching the racks, so you'll see that I put the fish fillets for the second half of time just on the bottom rack, and then the potatoes on the top so they can also crisp up. And then on the last couple minutes, just go ahead if you need to and move those to the top, the fish fillets to the top rack to get as crispy as you'd like them. And then as you saw just a second ago, I just have some buns and American cheese that I'm gonna serve those with. So on my buns, I just put some of the tartar sauce. I had to break my fish fillets up a bit because I like them even onto the bun, so I just broke them up to fit on there better. I put some lettuce and the cheese, and that's dinner. Simple, easy, and delicious. For this last meal, I wanted to go outside and grill, so we're just having some bratwurst and some grilled up carrots and zucchini. So I'm prepping my ingredients right now, and so I've got about a pound's worth of carrots that I've already went ahead and washed and peeled, and now I'm just cutting off both ends to those carrots, and you're just going to go ahead and slice them down the middle. If you have very large carrots, I would even maybe slice them in quarters because they won't cook up as well. The thin ends do get softer for the time that I'm going to recommend, but your thicker ends will be very crunchy if you have too large of a carrot. So I went ahead and just placed those in a small baking dish, and I'm going to drizzle some olive oil over them and just rub that olive oil all over them so they're all coated to put on the grill. Now I'm making a glaze that's going to go on those carrots at the end on the grill, and I'm taking 2 tablespoons of butter, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, as well as a 1/4 cup of honey, even though I don't believe I had a 1/4 cup left in this bottle, so I'm just using up whatever I had left. And then I'm going to go ahead and place that in the microwave for about 30 seconds and then pull it out, and I'm giving it a stir here. It started melting, and I'm placing it back in the microwave for about 15 to 20 more seconds, stirring it up just to make sure that your brown sugar starts melting. And I felt it there, and it really was starting to dissolve. So now I'm going to take some of this balsamic vinegar and just pour some in, maybe about teaspoon's worth, 1 to 2 teaspoons worth, and just go ahead and mix that together. And that's all I'm going to be brushing on those carrots in the end. I'm also preparing some zucchini on the grill. That's one of my favorite grilled vegetables. I love zucchini in general, but yeah, I'm just taking these zucchinis and chopping off the ends and slicing them just down the middle lengthwise. And now I'm just going to be placing those on a pan that I'm going to take out there to the grill, and I'm placing them the cut side up. And then I'm just going to take some olive oil and drizzle that onto them, and then use a little basting brush here. I'm using the grill one since I don't need to dirty the inside one and the grill one. So I'm just using the grill one here to baste that oil across the tops of all of the zucchini slices. And then I'm just going to go ahead and season them to my liking, which is just going to be simple seasoning. Zucchini doesn't need that much seasoning. So I'm just using some garlic salt, some black pepper, some Italian seasoning. I think that's all I used. Now I'm just preparing an onion for the grill for the bratwurst. I had a dead spot there that I had to cut off, and that really sucks because when you grill onions on the grill, of course you don't want them falling apart because they'll fall into the grill grates. But I had no choice here. It was the only onion I had, and I really wanted those, so I'm just slicing them into large rings here, even though they will open up on one end. And here my boyfriend is putting those carrots onto the grill. You're going to want to have your grill heat at around 375 to 400 degrees. And then you'll check them and rotate them about every 5 minutes. But if they are becoming like too blackened, then you'll want to go ahead and move them to indirect heat if you need to. We didn't need to. It worked out perfectly fine for us. So you're going to go ahead and leave them for 5 minutes, rotate, and then 5 minutes and rotate for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're done. And then on that last minute, you're going to put the glaze, which I'll show you in a bit. But next, we're just putting those onions on the grill. And this would be our last minute of the carrot time. So it's been about 15-20 minutes. So now that it's the last minute of grill time for the carrots, we're going to go ahead and baste on that mixture that I went ahead and made. But you won't want to do it too soon because it will caramelize up too much. And once they went ahead and grilled for that extra minute or so, we're just going to go ahead and take those off the grill and just place them in a little baking dish here. And then you're going to want to glaze them once more with that sauce. And it actually was really tasty, the sauce. It gave them a nice flavor. Sweetness really does complement carrots very well. And after glazing those carrots again, he went ahead and flipped those onions over to the other side, but I didn't get it on camera, but that's them there. And we're using these bratwursts, which actually came out of the freezer, but I just defrosted them. And I'm gonna pour a little bit of this barbecue sauce into a little bowl here so I can take out there, and we're gonna brush it onto the bratwurst. And the bratwurst and zucchini will be cooking for about the same amount of time, which is about 10 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and place those zucchinis onto the grill with the open side down first for about 5 minutes, and then they'll get flipped to the other side. Same thing with the bratwurst. They're going to go on at the same time with these zucchinis, and they're both going to get flipped about 5 minutes through, so halfway through. It's also time for those onions to come off the grill, and here you see a little bit of struggling because the fact that I had to cut that one spot off and made these not solid rings anymore, but it wasn't the worst, so they were still amazing, and that's all that matters. So after they've cooked for about 5 minutes, he's just gonna go ahead and flip those over, the zucchini and then the bratwurst as well. Oh, I love grill marks. They're so pleasing to the eye, and obviously the more grilled, the more flavor, and I'm all about that. And at this point, he's also going to be brushing on that barbecue sauce onto the bratwurst. Oh man, these were so good like that. I don't normally have barbecue sauce on my bratwurst, but it was an idea I kind of saw on Pinterest. It gave me this idea, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that out, and it sounded good with grilled onions. So here's that, and let me tell you, you should try it. It's pretty good. So we went ahead and let those grill for the additional 5 minutes, so 10 minutes total. And now he's going to be taking off the zucchini because we don't want it too soft, and rotating the bratwurst a little bit so we can get some of that barbecue sauce on the other side. And then we're just going to grill them an additional couple minutes just to get that barbecue sauce grilled on there for a couple minutes. In a few seconds here, you're about to see a small debut from my boyfriend, and he's also very uncomfortable on the camera, so hopefully we can get him on here a little bit more and a little bit more comfortable. He was not down for this. Say hi, guys.
Hi guys, I'm about to take the hot dog winners off the grill.
Here is what all of that looks like out of the grill. Oh, so delicious. I love grilled vegetables. Like, they're my favorite. So I hope you all enjoy this meal. It was really good and nice to get outside and just grill up in the sunlight. And that's that. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future What's for Dinner videos. I hope you all have an amazing week.